but there's a lot of spaces in between that are new neighborhoods, and each area has its own post effects for whichever universe we're in. Um, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see when you cross the line, there's like a tear in reality.
Right. So there's the 4 different areas. How did that manifest for you creating them? Questions.
So I got from
Oh,
Jack Frost like the little mini map of what areas we wanted as what, and like what kind of effects we wanted on them. They all have like their own flags and everything in each area, and I am getting attacked, so I'm getting really distracted while I'm talking. Please help me.
yeah, I can't fight and talk very well.
So
Let
I
me
just
get
want to
on
say
top
the
of the building real
entire
fast.
the entire DCO team was invited to join this playtest, and it looks like some of them are busy working, so that's okay. But everybody who showed up, you're awesome, even though you're failing.
I wonder what they're doing right now.
I wonder. I was heading to the next world boss, and I don't know that I have friends here yet.
Uh,
It was a bad idea.
so a lot of new tech was also needed to do these open world events because I don't want to get into the weird like logistics of all of it, but we wanted to be able to like properly track people's successes in the open world. It's a lot harder than it is when you just have one group in like a raid or something like that. So engineering had to co-develop this with us. We had to go back and forth and be like, well, this worked, but this didn't, and iterate and creating something new. And that's really, I don't think I said why. Like for one, it's epic, it's awesome. It's like a almost like a classic MMO where you never know who's going to be around the corner you're fighting with, but also just to try something different, change things up. I mean, I've seen the feedback. It's like, yeah, it's a solid episode, just like all the other ones, you know? And it's like, I feel it too. I wanted to try something different. The team wanted to try something different. And we'll just see how it goes. We're actively, excitedly, scaredly awaiting feedback about what we can do better, what we did right. And if it's fun, we'll keep doing stuff like this. If it's not, well, it was a good try.
Yeah, this is not necessarily the new normal. The next episode will be in whatever structure like we decide that is. This is not a permanent thing necessarily. If it's really popular, we'll do it again for sure.
Yeah,
And we'll iterate for sure.
Like you and like a lot of our devs, I love MMOs. I've been playing them for longer than I would care to admit to the public. But hey, things get stale, you know, and it's like, oh, it's another exact thing. It's fine, you know, and that's why we try to create new features, new systems, and sometimes they're awesome and we keep them forever. And sometimes it's like, let's never speak of this again. No, I'm kidding. I hope it's good. I hope it's fun, and I hope it's something we can continue to iterate on.
You're not kidding, but okay.
Kind of, not really.
So,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying, yeah, we're failing, but I'm still getting some goodies to buy stuff off the vendors, so it's not too bad.
Right. Let's talk real quick about. We mentioned a little bit how contribution works, but let's just go over it again. Maybe Jack Frost or Batuba, you have a little insight into what you can do, and then how the rewards work if you are successful or not.
Yeah. So one of my first one of the important things I wanted to accomplish right off the bat when we started talking about this was I wanted to make sure that players are rewarded for their effort. And I don't think we've totally solved it. I think we've made steps forward in this episode, and so I hope we're able to continue making steps forward. But essentially, one of the things that we've had a problem with in the past is that if a player isn't able to do enough damage to a boss, then they won't necessarily get credit for defeating that boss. And that's a problem for players that are really low level. That's a problem for the players who play non-DPS roles. And so, again, part of the way we tried to solve that this episode was providing ancillary activities that are going to contribute towards you earning rewards for the world boss fights. And then we also reworked how we're granting credit for defeating or not defeating the bosses, depending on how much damage you dealt. So that change is only specific to these world bosses right now, but I encourage anyone who is able to jump on the test server and play later this weekend whenever we put it online, might be this evening, and give me some feedback on how well you think it plays, and or how well you feel like you got rewarded. And just a couple things, we wanted to make sure that there isn't just one sort of you succeeded reward. So there's actually 2 tiers of success reward. So if you were like what we consider like a top tier contributor, you did a lot of damage to the boss, and you did a lot of ancillary activities related to the boss fight, then we want you to get the top tier rewards. But if you did some rewards or some work, you came a little late, you helped out, we want you to be rewarded, but maybe you didn't quite do as much as some of the other folks, so your reward is going to be less. And that's all contingent on you all winning, right? So if you win, you can get these top or second tier rewards. Now, if you lose the boss fight, we didn't want your effort to be totally in vain. So if you all didn't defeat the boss, but you all did contribute, or you on an individual basis did contribute to the boss fight, we're still going to give you a reward. If you didn't do enough, you don't get rewarded. So that was kind of what we landed on after talking it over and kind of developing some new tech to support these ideas.
Perfect. Yeah. So just to reiterate, it's not just you or your group doing damage like it kind of usually is for getting credit for killing the stuff. There's a lot of stuff you can do, and then depending on how much you do, you get different rewards. Speaking of rewards, should we jump into it? Should we show some gear? Sound like a good idea? No, you want to save it.
Nobody ever wants to see the gear.
Do you want to talk about some of the rewards you get from the bosses?
Yeah, okay, yeah, let's do that first. So mentioned in the article, there's the regular episode currency, which is used for the regular things for the most part. But there's a new vendor and new drops on the bosses and a new currency. Take it away, Batuba.
All right, so first of all, going back to the old MMO thing to where fighting certain bosses would sometimes give you rare drops. We kind of want to bring that back. So we added the Gorgon style, which has been heavily sought after and super rare. We've added that as a drop chance for all the world bosses within this DLC. On top of that, we've also included new generator mods with different kind of rarities to them. So you have your normal version, you have a rare version and an elite version, and they all drop off of bosses as well. And so it's more things for you to be farming, more great things to be getting off of these bosses. But what's really, really cool about these bosses is that not only do you get this new currency, but any players that are below CR 299 can use this to grind up their CR, because every time you defeat one of these bosses, you'll get a scaling loot box of gear. So, and this will go all the way to CR 299. So you can actually potentially just stay at the Mascara here, fighting these bosses and grind up your CR quickly through here.
That's awesome. How about if you're above CR 299?
If you're above CR 299, you do get other rewards. Let me check my notes real quick. This is a lot of Red 5's work, so I'm trying to do him justice here.
You get your notes handy there?
I do have my notes handy, sorry. So yeah, so from these you can get augments, the generator, what are they called? The catalyst, the catalyst for the new OP item, which I'm sure we'll talk about later. You can get them from all these bosses. These will be the higher level rewards. So anything that's like the generator mods, stuff to do with your OP items. In fact, the first part of your OP item comes off of the world bosses. Other than that, players will be farming the bosses for the currency, which will then lead into the new elite gear that's associated to the new vendor. And with that, I think you can show your stuff.
I'm gonna just say there's really cool. So we're adding the cons on this vendor. So you're earning it out here in the open world. There's a concept of elite jewelry, effectively. Neck.
And
I
weapons.
think we did neck. Wings. Let me get there.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Rings. And I mean, we haven't done this in ages. If we've done it at all, I can't remember. But like, there are more ways to activate elite, but you cannot get everything. Like, you won't be able to fully activate all of the elite buffs. But there's another a way to juice your character up a little bit. We are also going to add weapons. The style that we are, and like, just like my Twitter gets full of people really wanting Gorgon Slayer to come back. I also, for ages, hear that they really wanted the ironically artifact weapons. These are not artifact weapons, but that was the style from the Halls of Power episode, and they glow and they look really epic. Well, we're going to put those on the vendor too, and they're going to be elite level. They're going to be best you can get in this episode, and we're not going to talk too much about it, but they might have procs again. That's a callback to like DLC 1, baby.
Oh.
Proc and weapons.
Actually, Batu, we can talk about the procs. Do you wanna just give us a little taste of what the procs are?
Sure. So it's going to be one proc for all the different roles. And what this proc is called, Slayer's Enhancement. And so basically, off of any superpower or weapon combo that you do, you have a chance to get a buff that increases your primary stat by 2% for 8 seconds. And it's got a 40-second cooldown. And what's great about it is for every other player around you that has this weapon, when you proc, your buff gets stronger. So for a cap of 10% of your primary stat. So if you're a DPS, you'll get precision and might. If you're a tank, you'll get dominance. A healer will get resto, and a controller will get vitalization.
Yeah,
pretty sweet.
Juicy. Yeah, that's what's really cool about this is we're not just moving shit around. We're not just moving rewards around. We're giving more, finding new ways to make yourself more powerful, and just cool stuff. Yeah, I always gotta say at least one or two bad words.
So that's the boss. Is drops really great if you're low level. Awesome stuff if you're higher level. And again, there's no loot luck on that, so you keep running the bosses. And actually, I don't think we mentioned it. How often do the bosses appear? Did we talk about that?
I don't think we did, but so we have it set up currently, and again, we're listening to feedback from players on PC tests this next few weeks if we need to change it. But right now, they spawn every 5 minutes, starting on the hour, with a 5-minute break at the end. And there's a chance so if you defeat the first 4 bosses that start at the hour, then the 5th boss will spawn, and you have 5 minutes to defeat each of them. And if you don't, then if you don't defeat the first 4, the 5th won't spawn. And then there's a 5-minute break before it starts all over again.
So it's relatively constant. There's a little bit of break in there, but not much downtime, right?
That's not ironclad. It's we got to see what happens when we play it in the wild with you guys, and then even live. I mean, we're looking for the feedbacks. It's just we were beating stuff really fast, and we were like, maybe we don't need 10 minutes. So it's all tuning.
Yeah, we honed it in. We iterated a lot over the last few months of development. So we started with much longer boss fights, and then we, as we were playing it, we were like, yeah, let's try faster. So.
And there was lots of difficulty adjustments, which I'm sure will continue again also on the test server as we go. All right. Well, we have begun the style fashion show here. You are looking at the multiversal Amazon gear.
So let me explain what this is.
Okay. Yeah.
Long ago, we made like 4 or 5 cool Amazonian styles. They were all right. They're pretty good for the time. We've made a lot of technical improvements in our character art since then. So our metals look more like metal, and you can actually tint them. Back then, everything always looked gray. You couldn't really like if you wanted the yellow on your chest there, it didn't work. And it's another thing that I've heard requests for a long time. It's like, man, I wish those did that. I wish we had the better looking materials on the Amazon stuff because we like doing the Amazon costumes. So Glitter went through, picked out a bunch of the best pieces, put them back together, redid all the materials. All the metals look so much better. It's ridiculous. The colors look better. And also, if you may remember, the armor used to have like this body sock suit, like under it, you couldn't see your skin. Like it was this weird like Under Armour thing. And I'm gonna be honest, I did not like that. So she was like, I can fix that. And she went in and took all of that under stuff off so that like the armband is around her. I keep using my hands and you can't even see me, but see how the armband on Oceans is around her actual like arm and not some weird bodysuit? So this is the event gear, by the way, the event gear. So it's an update to that. I think people will be pretty pleased. I mean, it's not a new sculpt. It is not, but it was an opportunity to fix something from the past. And that's the blessing of working on a live game like this. Ooh, I like that.
And to add an enhanced version, which we're now looking at.
You be glowing now. You are glowing. You're glowing. You're ebullient. All right, so that's what you get for running event stuff. We do have a brand new higher level raid set. Good, normal.
Should we look at that? I think we should look at that.
It will spoil something else, but I'll leave that to you.
I have it set up. I'm about to hit the button.
Oh yeah, let's do it. 3,
Can I hit
2,
the button?
1, hit the button.
Based on, I'm trying to time this where it all comes out, on one of our brand new villains. Well, I mean, it's really a point of view, but yeah, she's kind of a villain. The daughter of Darkseid and an Amazon. So she's kind of like got a foot in both worlds here.
And her name is?
Grail. She's been a big bad in the comics for quite a while. And her goal, effectively, she is raised to kill Darkseid. That is her ultimate goal. Anyway, her costume was really cool. And every time we saw it, we were like, this might be it. Now, we knew that we were going to have to bite off more than we could chew because, as you can see, the male and the female version are different. Because, we can do the same thing, but sometimes we have an opportunity to do something different. And Steph, I'm sorry. Glitter and Megzilla, I think, did a complete custom design on the chest piece for the male, making it look like basically a badass. There's 3 curse words. I know what y'all are all thinking. Come here! Well, it's not. It's totally Grail, but it's really cool. I love this suit. Oh, you're shining. Look at you, Oceans.
That's the enhanced. I'll go ahead and fire my enhanced also.
I took some things off too to show off my toes.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Sometimes it's cool to pop off the shoulders and the belt and see. I'm not a big belt person, though this one is pretty sweet. They're just uncomfortable, especially working from home. No, I'm kidding. I like the more slimline looks usually, but it's all options. You can have it or not. Ooh, you look cool. Now you look like when you have to fight yourself in a fighting game, and it's like they make it a different color.
Kind of what it is.
Ooh, wait, I have the best. Wait.
Oh, material time.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is
hard pass.
It's ultimate She-Ra villain right here.
I look like the source wall.
This is Ocean's soul expressed properly.
Oh my god, it's pretty cool. I'm just wearing this old gear because the popped collar looked pretty great with the aviators. I was terrible compared to you guys. Is there a
heel?
There-
Sorry.
Look at that. There's a heel.
I like that I'm rotating my camera thinking that it's on screen.
Showing stuff. Yeah.
I
And,
know.
like, look at it.
Heels.
The dude's heel is not quite as pointed, but he's got a bit of a heel too.
I mean, he's got plenty of heel.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
So
You look fantastic.
yeah, this is one of my favorite styles in a long time. I just love the hood and the whole head area. Oh, should mention that if you choose to use an emblem, it will show up on this gear. Oh, let me.
But where? Oh wait, Mixzilla just said the shoulders have an emblem slot. So
Spoiler.
I guess
Get her out of chat.
Let's do this one.
all right, it's pretty cool. I like
There it
this.
goes.
Oh, that's a good
Right
one.
on the shoulder.
Look at that belt with the cool little thing. Okay, I'm like, I don't like belts, and then I'm like, I like this belt. I like things, y'all. Oh, that's cool looking. Will one of you take the boots off?
I can take them off again.
Seems really creepy saying that, but
I had my toes out just a second
Yeah,
ago.
we got your
Yeah.
toes on camera.
yeah, I wanted to see standing what it looked like.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm struggling trying not to use my keyboard because it's noisy.
The male version came out so good. Great job, Gleater and Mixzilla. And if I am totally saying the wrong people, I'm so sorry, but it looks amazing.
All right, now we've taken some stuff off. You can now
Cool.
see
Yeah,
my
let me-
toes.
Let me
Oh yeah.
get on the stand.
It looks kind of like Catra.
Stop it. Oh, that's awkward.
Some people are like, "Ew, feet." Yeah, well, the newer, the 3 new male and female skins that we did last year have pretty good looking toes.
There.
It's all right.
Where did you go?
Sorry.
Hey, Adora. I saw that. Red 5.
I was actually gonna say we should show this off in the last area that something didn't spawn in. 'Cause
Oh yeah.
It's nice and bright in there.
Why don't you run over there and I'll follow you. I'm gonna take off my gloves.
Look at me being such an attention junkie. I keep hopping next to you.
You just need to be on camera.
I can't take it. I
So
even think, like,
we're seeing the lag that Twitch is seeing too, so I keep thinking I'm next to Meps and I'm not.
I know it takes like a solid minute for me. There I am. Well, now it's really late for you on the whatever. But I just now saw me a minute later. Oh, and then he left.
It's coming to see
So
me.
where
I thought you were faster, but you were slow.
are we going? Do we want to? What else are we going to show? We're going to show some of the instanced content.
So I think we're gonna talk about it, and we're gonna maybe look at the solos. Yeah, let's jump into that though while we're just walking around showing off our cool stuff. Let's actually go backwards. Let's start with the raid. We have one raid in this episode, and it's gotten plenty of love and attention. Either Nerd of Prey or Jack Frost, do you want to walk us through a bit of the raid? What's special about it?
The final raid?
Yes.
Wait. Oh, what's special about it?
Yeah, I mean, let's not give away the whole storyline, but set it up for us a little bit.
There's so much story in the solo and the alert to get us to
Okay,
the final.
okay, we can do it in order. Let's talk about the solo/solos.
I'm a storyteller. I can't give away the ending.
I know it's annoying.
So- I can do this. I can do the fast version. I can do this.
Okay.
All right. I don't know if you want to pop into these areas, but the solo, you can actually enter them from the open world, kind of like Sons of Trigon a million billion years ago. How they actually
Or
had like you could walk into the solos and duos and stuff like that.
kind of like the launch game as well. You're just running around.
That
You can
too.
zone
There's
into
that too.
somewhere.
So it's kind of fun that you can actually go to those places, and there's a reason why you might want to go to one over the other, but it's really just one solo a day because frankly I don't want people just having to grind all of these like solo instance content because I want them frankly I want them out here fighting all these massive battles out here. But in the solo, the first thing that we ask you to do after checking in the open world and seeing how jacked up Themyscira is because of the multiverse collapsing, you get to meet. Okay, I said it would be short. I'm so sorry. You build the Council of Wonder Women through the solo events, and the first time you run it through, you meet Nubia from Earth 23, and she has the idea of this is a big problem, and we're going to need but the good news, there's a bunch of Wonder Womans, and so it's Nubia who forms the council, and our Wonder Woman's like, I love it. That's a great idea, and I'm first in line right behind you. And so you as the player, there's different versions of the solo. It's random if you just queue up, or you can walk into like bombshell version or whatever out in the open world, and you recruit them to the team. So you're an active member. It's like the Council of Batman just kind of was there. Batman set it up. You and Nubia set it up together. So it's really kind of a very cool story point by Writing Desk. And Milbarge worked really hard to make this really make sense and have a reason. There's also a mechanical gameplay reason to play the different solos. Kind of like the Van Helsing lamp, there's an amphora that you get, and you want to fill them with specific things you get from each different version of the solo. And then you can make little goodies. I don't want to get too deep into that, but it's really neat because it's going to be a lot more refreshing every time you play your solo. You might get something different. A different bombshell, a different sub boss, and stuff like that. That goes into the alert, which is a little tale about Flashpoint Wonder Woman and why she might not be the greatest person to have on your team. But I'll let you find out what happens there. And she holds grudges, particularly with Atlanteans. And then that sets it up to, you learn that we were talking about the God Sphere, the sphere of the gods, that area outside of all the worlds being really messed up from the source fragments, just driving through it and collapsing the multiverse. Well, it's collapsing on itself. And it's kind of the same concept of Themyscira, except to the bajillionth degree. All of these different worlds, Olympus, heaven, hell, Apocalypse, New Genesis, are crashing into each other in the middle of this crazy cosmic space thing that I don't think he has a dev name, so I won't say his name, but I'm really bad at not saying names. This concept that it's like another universe. So it's just trippy and weird, and it's kind of big because it's only, we have one raid this episode because we have all this raid mechanics and rewards out in the open world. But it's a nice long one with some really cool base pop you've seen before, but some new ones for heaven and hell, because that's a new thing we haven't done before. So anyhow, it's neat, and I'm a fan. I don't know if we're gonna get to see it. You'll see it when we're on PC test.
Well, I'm talking to Diana right now, so
okay.
So we can kind of move ahead.
So the big story is these places are smashing together, and the B story running along that's actually going to move and advance the narrative is that Hera and Grail are kind of teaming up to restore Zeus's crown for reasons we will find out when we play. I'm sorry if that got quiet. Is it Susan Eisenberg? Yes! Susan, of course, has returned to the role of Wonder Woman and taken on a few new with our new Wonder Woman. Not Nubia, though. That is Ms. Tolbert will be taking on that role.
All right, let's jump into one of the solos to give people a taste of this.
So, real quick, Bombshell Wonder Woman has never had this much dialogue, so we decided to give her personality. We'll just say she's got moxie, and that was so much fun to write with writing desk and to direct Susan. She brought so much to that role because it's never been done before. So she basically had to create what Bombshell Wonder Woman would sound like, and oh my god, I love it so much.
How did you get Susan Eisenberg into the Red Sun mindset and tone? Because that one's pretty out there, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because like I've it's as confirmed by DC, she's not Soviet. She's Greek. She's from Themyscira, but she's going to talk in she like Red Sun Superman spends a lot of time in this Soviet Russia, and so like the language she uses, she's very much about the people, and just kind of like you don't have time for this. You're strict to the point. I think it was actually it's a little bit trickier to do stuff like Flashpoint, where it's Diana who's gone too far, much like she's done work like that before in other games and movies, but it's always a little bit of a stretch because her Diana is so kind and strong, and like I would follow her anywhere. Like if and Susan's like, you want to get coffee? I'm like, yes, because Wonder Woman has asked me to. And then when she goes all kind of, I don't say evil, but scary, it's just so weird and so difficult to do. But she nails it every time.
So you'll be looking forward to that.
Oh, Nubia!
Yep, we are in one of the solos. The solo
she's
with
so beautiful.
She is.
I hate that I'm talking about Susan and we're seeing Nubia by Benicia Tolbert. Val did such a good job on it.
That NPC looks familiar that statue is from, right?
Just running through this a little bit. This is the Temple of Aphrodite, which is exciting. Yeah.
Man, these delays are something.
Is it pretty bad today?
I think so. Yeah, the temples are also in different Themysciras, and so they have different invaders. We'll make it a little different. Add some variety. Spice of life. You stopped.
Sorry, I was distracted by the environment and everything. Do you want to talk any more about the alert?
Only if we're gonna show it.
No, we're not gonna show it. We're gonna peace out here in just a little bit. Sorry.
I'll say it's 2 areas and a new crypt with some really nifty puzzles. So when you're playing the alert, keep your eyes open. You may see relics and symbols around. You might want to pay attention to them. You might need to know that information later. Very classic RPG stuff. That's why it's so fun to do Amazon stuff, because it just fits really well into classic RPG and adventure games.
It really does. I do want to mention that our plan is to have episode 38 Wonderverse on the test server tonight. Later this evening, not immediately after the live stream, but we hope everyone will jump in there and check it out. We need people to tackle those open world raids. It's not a 2-player adventure, those raids. So please hop in, please help us out. Also, on next Monday, which is the 13th, we're going to have a play test on the public test server. Everyone's invited. It'll be at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 Central, 7 Eastern. And most of the design team and other developers will be there playing along with you so that you can interact with them, offer feedback, share experience, as well as, just let them see you play and play with you to really get some hopefully really good feedback and assessment of what's going on the test server, so that we can have the best possible content when we launch. So if you can make it, if you can download the test server onto really any sort of computer that you might have, it's free to make a Daybreak account. It's free to log in the test server and play. If you can make it, you want to talk to the devs, that would be incredibly helpful for us. So please join us on Monday at 4 o'clock Pacific on the test server. Nerd of Prey will be there for sure. Batuba will be there for sure. If you want to talk to him, he's great. Everybody likes talking to him. He's the people's hero. We'll also be looking at, besides the episode, we've got the new artifacts that are already on the test server for last week. We've been getting great feedback on that, but we'll definitely want to see how they function in the new episode and all that stuff. So make sure to harass Batuba as much as possible.
Oh, great.
When you're on the test server on Monday at 4 p.m.
Did we want to talk about augments by chance?
Yeah,
Or
sure.
leaving that?
Yeah, let's do that real quick. So we have a new take on augments and different options for different players. Take it away.
So now, right now, adaptive augments have always been for people that are at end game, right? So now we wanted to introduce adaptive augments for everyone, basically. So we're going to have now a new event version of augments that will go up to rank 11. So augments normally go up to rank 23, and then they'll have different breakthroughs, much like artifacts, to where you get special abilities at certain breakthroughs. We want to have that same experience, but for people that are on their CR grind or only really access our game through event. And so players will be able to level up these new adaptive augments to level 11. But once you've reached in game, you can now pop in those, you can feed these event ones into the end game versions, and you'll get 100% of the experience. There are no breakthroughs to any of those augments for the event version, so you don't have to worry about catalysts until you get to the final version. And it's all about increasing the speed of your CR grind, helping you out in the open world. It should be a very good experience and very easy to be introduced into it. But with this, we've also made another change to where the adaptive augment food can only be fed into adaptive augments. And you can't feed nth metal, you can't feed any of that. It got very confusing. So we decided to make adaptive augment food only feed into adaptive augments, but we're also becoming much more generous with that. It'll be dropping off every single instance boss, like in the raids, alerts. From every boss, you'll get these adaptive food, and it'll be 100% drop chance, and it's no longer choice loot, so you'll always get it, no matter what. So hopefully a lot more people can be engaged with the system. There's, for the first time ever, you're getting new style rewards. I don't know if you saw my character earlier, but I had these amazing green eyes that Charon made, and that's one of the rewards from the adaptive augments. So we hope to get some feedback from that as well.
Oh, there she is.
While you were talking, Batuba, we showed Grail on the screen. Just so you realize why people are not paying attention.
They're like, Grail. Augment Grail.
But yeah, that opened up augments for everybody who's playing the content, and hopefully you guys dig that. All right, one more thing to show. This is not in the right environment, but just deal with it.
What? What are you doing?
We have a new god in this.
Oh, you just gonna spawn him up?
Yeah. We have Mr. Poseidon, Lord of the Sea.
Gonna be a fish out of water.
Well, he is a fish out of water. He's not supposed to be in Aphrodite's temple, but she probably doesn't mind. You know? So, yeah. Poseidon. Yeah. He's tall. He's pretty tall.
See, can we see his face? That would be nice. Yeah, he's got all the Atlantean regalia. Oops. You know, we debated on a cape but like he was wearing it in the comics, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. I don't know about capes underwater, but you know, why not?
He's very pretty.
He's a Greek god, so he's got the Greek god beard and all of the. I like the classic Greek gods. I'm not super into like when they make them like. I mean, it's personal preference, but like new takes. Like, what if he were a chicken? You know, it's like, well, not all the time, please. But,
Chicken. Okay.
anyhow.
All right. So I think that's what we have to show you today. We're definitely looking forward for your feedback. Join us on the test server. Check out the solos, all the different variants. Check out the alert. Check out the raid. One thing to note, the elite raids will not be on the test server today. We are saving those and doing a little bit more work on them. And we'll use some of the feedback we get from the normal event to make sure their difficulty is kind of, where we want it to be, up there and challenging as elites should be. But please jump on, let us know how things are doing, and definitely try to experience that open world stuff and give us all the feedback and ideas and thoughts that go through your head, because it's a really different experience, or it's one we haven't had in a long time, really ever, but in a long time for
to
sure.
clarify, it is an elite. There's one elite raid. I think you said elite raids.
I'm sorry. There's one raid and one elite raid for that raid.
Which is partly why we're doing a little more tuning. We really want to make you hurt. Go make you earn it.
We want that one to be just as perfect as we can make it. And
I called it a kick in the teeth. So I'm serious. Like, let us know if it's too easy. You tell me.
The elite raid, right? Not the event.
Yeah, I mean that's where I want you to feel a little pain. You don't gotta play it. This is for the people who really want to bang their head against some stuff.
The elite is a kick in the teeth. The event is more like flossing.
Bingo. I love it.
All right. Well, thank you, Jack Frost, for joining us. Thank you, Batuba. Thank you, Nerd of Prey. Thank you, Oceans. Thank you to the whole team who joined in to fail those world bosses. And
thanks, Matt, and thanks to all the players.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in. And if you can get on the test server, and if you can join us on Monday, huge thanks. I think that's going to help us out a lot in making this episode be as good as it can be. So thank you, everyone. Until next time, keep playing DCO. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.